Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisco Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Age of Empires Mobile, we gotta talk about rings. Rings are incredibly powerful, and through this fine crafting event, you can unlock and power up rings in an extremely meaningful way. Now, if you make your way over to the hero screen, you can see in the gear section for a hero I've actually unlocked that yes, the centermost thing here is a ring. This unlocks when your server gets old enough. That will be at chapter 15 at the time of this recording of your Kingdom Chronicles. To see where that is, you go all the way up top over here. There's this little crown icon. Tap on that, and you can see 15 is recent for us, but also you can see the Signet Ring system was unlocked at that time. So even if they change when exactly it unlocks, you know that Signet Ring system is what you'll be looking for in your server's milestones. Now, with that said, what does a ring do? It is incredibly powerful. A ring gives stats and a special effect to the hero that's wearing it, and every hero in your army can be wearing a signet ring, much like how every hero in your army should be wearing armor, and you should go in and level it up. You should put gems into it. On every one of the heroes in your army, you should do the same with signet rings. There should be one of these on every hero in your army. Now, you're not going to start with a bunch of signet rings. In fact, if I tap on this, you can see the game gives you two by default, the Ring of Tulip and the Ring of Violet. One is for gathering, the other is for combat. Now, you can see here on this screen what rings are available to you. You can see there are several rarities, from blue to the purple, epic, I assume, and legendary in gold. In fact, there's even technically, I think, 2 tiers of the legendary quality rings. We'll talk more about that in a minute when we talk about the cost to go and unlock them. So with that said, as you see over here, you can upgrade your ring. Upgrading your ring is going to give you more stats and also has a chance to increase the power of this skill over here. So if I go to the details section next to Mighty Strike, you can see here that as I get to level 10, 20, and 30 on my ring, I will get more effect on this over here. It's just going to be more percentage. So you can see here that the damage to the enemy troop is a 28.75% amount of damage based on your might bonus, and there's a 25% chance for that to happen. However, we can increase the chance at level 10, 20, and 30, as you see here. In fact, there's max rank effects. There we go, 125% damage. Now you may think, well, 125% damage, I mean, Chisco, come on, is that really all that much? But this is just a blue quality ring. The effects only get more powerful with the higher rarity of rings, but just because a ring is a higher rarity does not mean it is going to be more effective. And this is the part of the ring system that I think is really interesting. It is that there is really, really powerful synergy with specific heroes. So as an example, if I look here at these rings, has a 50% chance to reduce your troops' damage taken, deals strategy damage to the enemy, increases your hero's critical strike chance. After launching normal attacks, deals might damage to the enemy troop, increase hero experience, probably not all that important. But here's a really cool one. Rest and Recover. Recovers your troops' units, recovery rate percent shown on screen, 25% chance to activate. Now, what's neat about this is that you can find really cool synergies. So if I had a Ring of Lily, for example, theoretically, this recovery of troops could trigger other things. Like, for example, a very popular skill is right over here. It's Peaceful Haven. After the hero recovers units, reduces your damage taken. So you can take advantage of things like a blue ring in order to synergize with other effects, like triggering this Peaceful Haven effect, which is kind of neat. In essence, that ring is serving a double purpose and a double effect, which is really powerful. But that's just tip of the iceberg, and I have not unlocked all that many of these yet. So let's talk about unlocking. You can see here on the sort of center bottom of the screen, it says exclusive reward, and it takes you to the fine crafting event. This event becomes available and lives permanently in your store, as far as I can tell anyways. And this is where you're going to spend these hammers. You can see I have mine in the upper right over here. In order to craft, okay? Crafting is going to give you randomized rewards. You can see the craft rewards over here also have a tiered reward. This is very important. This resets once a week, and if you craft 30 times in a week, you get 100 extra jeweler's marks. This is a special currency. You're going to use this to buy stuff. I'll show you that in just a second in the store. So that's the other thing you see up here. I have 830 of these jeweler's marks. So if I go and I use hammers by hitting craft, you can see here I get a bunch of randomized rewards. I can craft 3 more times, which I'm going to do now. 1, 2, 3. And now I have crafted 30 times this week. I claim the 100 jeweler's marks, which is pretty sweet. The reason this is an important tier is the way to think about obtaining rings is the sort of velocity with which you're getting these jeweler's marks. And you kind of want to hoard up a bunch of the hammers, use them ideally to maximize this event over here. And remember, this resets every week. So 30 hammers got me 100 jeweler's marks. The next tier to 200 jeweler's marks is 100 hammers. So I need 70 more hammers to get another 100 jeweler's marks. So basically, you're going to figure out what your spend level of hammers is going to be, and then you're going to hit that periodically in order to maximize your sort of rewards per hammer on this event over here, all right? And then you can go over to the jeweler's collection, and here is the store. Now, as I mentioned, there's sort of 2 tiers of these legendary rings. There's the 4,000 jeweler's mark tier, and then there's the 1,600 mark, and then there's the epic rings at 600 and the blue rings at the 200 tier. If you want to see what these actually do, I'd recommend tapping them in the other screen we were looking at earlier when you go to equip them. Tapping them here is where you would go to buy them, although you can tap on it yet again to see the explanation of what it does. All right, so I'm going to hit cancel because I'm not actually interested in that. There is also upgrade currency available to you down here. This, I'm told, is the primary way you're going to get this upgrade currency for your rings. So keep that in mind, that some number of jeweler's marks will go toward this. And in general, I would say unlocking a moderate amount of these rings just to get them onto your march is already a pretty meaningful power boost, even if you don't power it up. Like, for example, simply unlocking this Ring of Iris is going to give me a critical strike rate increase. It's also going to give me, in this case, some attack and some defense. Now, I was talking with the professor whom has been featured on this channel before, and he's got his own YouTube channel. I'm hoping he'll make some very detailed guides on these rings. I suspect that he will. But he mentioned that he doesn't think the stat bonuses are the thing to focus on when you pick one of these rings. So even though different rings give different attributes or stats, he indicated that the effect is the most important thing, and I tend to agree, okay? Going for the right effects is arguably the most important thing. And each one of these rings, by the way, has different tiers with which you sort of power up the level, and you'll get more stats. So as an example, you can see here at level 10, 20, 30, and 40 is when this advances to the next sort of red star level, and the stats would then increase in a meaningful way over here, all right? You can see the max rank effects over here, all right? So I have not done this yet, though. So it's actually kind of interesting. Like, if I go and I upgrade this one time, do I get some benefit, or do I guess I get stats until I hit the major tier? Doesn't really matter for the sake of this video. What you need to know is that it's going to take a bunch of this currency, these jeweler's marks. Now, how do you get the hammers to do this event? Obviously, there's a couple ways to go and do this. There are periodically free-to-play ways to obtain these, or low-cost ways to obtain these. But also, there is a daily bundle that you can go and buy. The cheaper the bundle is, the better the price is per hammer. So $1, 1 hammer, good. $2, 2 hammers, okay, fine. It's the same cost per hammer. $3, 3 hammers, still chilling. Then it is $5, 4 hammers. You see where this is going? Then it's $10, 7 hammers. So the economy decreases as the sort of cost of this goes up. So what they're basically saying is, hey, well, we're going to reward people that are spending less in these lower tiers, but more regularly, you get more hammers. So if you had only, $5 to spend on this. You could spread that out over a couple days. Make sure you get the $1 per hammer rate. All right. If you're spending much, much more, all right, well, you can make your choices on what you want that to look like. All right. This is one way you get hammers. The other way that I know that you can get hammers is over in the VIP shop. We make our way to VIP. You go to the VIP store. We scroll on down. I've already bought these hammers. I believe they're 1,000 or 2,000 Empire coins a pop. I don't remember the exact price off the top of my head. But these reset every week from VIP, and they are worth the Empire coins. Ideally, you can combine buying these with some other event in order to sort of maximize what you're getting here. But the value is really great because these rings are super powerful and they are long-term projects. And I really want to emphasize that because just like your equipment, you can take it off and move it from one hero to another. So even when you're not using a particular hero or you graduate on from a hero, theoretically, you could then take that ring and carry it on to your next project, which is kind of cool. By project, I mean hero combination. All right. So for me personally, when will I unlock these rings and when will I power them up? When you do this actually does matter. It's right over here in stage 4 of the Mightiest Governor that you get rewarded for consuming those materials that are used to upgrade your Signet Rings. And in addition, you also get points for fine crafting. So theoretically, you could have hoarded a bunch of hammers and then used them. The thing is that, like, remember, you get pretty meaningful tiered rewards for spending hammers. The other thing that I will point out, okay, is that in order to get the credit for the hammers each week, one thing you can do is have a free hammer every day. So every 24 hours from the last time you used a hammer, you get one free craft. You can see on screen, I have my free craft scheduled here, right? So that means every week you get 7 free crafts. If you have enough VIP from the VIP shop, you can get 20 hammers, and then you just need 3 more. All right. And those 3 more could come from bundles over here. Or if you want, you can just wait. And if you just wait, then you can buy them from VIP. And like every other week, you claim your 30 spot here for the 100 extra jeweler's marks. But I think getting the extra jeweler's marks is a pretty big deal. Enough of a big deal that I would really optimize around that. And that is the Signet Ring system in a nutshell. You're essentially getting something that customizes what your hero does. You can put it on all 3 heroes, one different ring, on each hero that you're bringing in an army. And in order to do that, you use the hammers to pull from here. And you can see there's the fine gold, the silver sand, and the copper sand, as was described in the Mightiest Governor event. All right. And you can see the rate here for each of these things. The rules are on screen. GG easy. At 1,140 of this currency, what am I going to get? I still need to go figure out which rings to do. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think I'm going to try to optimize around the Hannibal Barca march that I have. And if we get a look at the rings over here, there is one ring in particular that I think is really good for that. In fact, there are several, but Ring of Crow is an example here. Steals might, strategy, and armor from the enemy commander. Ooh, that seems like such a cool pair with Hannibal because he is going to increase his own might, strategy, and armor based on how much the enemy has been reduced. Seems good. Another really cool ring here is one that does double strike. This is at the legendary tier, so it's going to be a good bit more tricky to get this one. But I can try to find it real quick, show it to you here. But these rings are obviously incredibly powerful. We've got the Eastern Heavens. That's it. Not it. Reduces the damage of all your heroes' active skill, but increases the damage of their normal attacks. Some of the ones like this that reduce what your hero does by 1%, either you want to use a hero that isn't hindered by this, or you really want to make sure you maximize the upside of the effect here in order to get good value. What do we got here? What is the Radiant Guardian? Ah, here it is. Increases the hero's secondary strike skill activation chance and has a chance to gain the double attack state. Ooh. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Yeah, so there's some really powerful effects here, but, you know, this ring would run me 4,000, so it ain't cheap. So we got to save up. So with the ring system, I would really think things through before you pull the trigger. With that said, if you're running 5 armies in the field, and you have them all out at the same time, which it's going to take a long time to get to that point, right? But that means you need 15 rings. Yeah. So you're going to need a lot of these. And I almost sort of feel like starting over here in the epic tier and the blue tier is a pretty cool starting place. I also think that because when you do pulls, you get random rewards of the currency you need for the legendary, the blue, and the purple rings, that it almost might be cool to have one ring of each rarity. That way, initially anyways, you can be upgrading using the materials you're naturally sort of pulling every week. And those aren't just sitting there rotting. So that's probably what I'm going to do is I'll go get an epic ring and then I'll get a legendary ring. And then as I go, at least thankfully, all of the sort of materials I'm collecting passively, I can use to upgrade one ring of each rarity. And that's probably how I start my collection. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'll probably do a video like top X rings or something. But it's so dependent on what heroes you're working on that like understanding the way your heroes work ends up being more important. And if you want to see an introductory video to some of the best hero combos in the game, check the card right over here. That's kind of a cool one. And if I was starting over, this other video is all about the best hero investment order, which it's the video I wish I had, but I needed to play the game in order to figure it out. So I figured it out and then I put it in the vid in order for you to know. If you enjoyed it, throw a like on here, subscribe, and until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.